Welcome to today's podcast episode, everyone. I've got a very exciting guest for you guys. For those of you just joining the podcast, we're E.N.G Media, and today I have Oscar with me, founder and CEO of Lodgerin. So, Oscar, I just wanted to tell you, thank you so much for coming on our show today. I'm really excited to dive into all the awesome stuff that you guys are doing with your platform.
Thank you, Tyson. I hope I propose and tell all the information that is going to be really worthy for our listeners and viewers.
100%. So maybe we just dive right into it. I think that it's probably best if we start by maybe you just giving us kind of a brief overview of what Lodgerin really focuses in and kind of what your guys' core area of focus really is.
Yeah, basically, I must start the story of our actual situation,
Let's do
telling you a bit about our previous history. I start in entrepreneurship like 13 years ago with
Wow.
a relocation service company that I used to provide services to people who moves into Europe, finding them the housing and all this stuff, administration issues, etc. And during the process, I realized about other issues that happen during the mobility process, such as housing maintenance or management and that kind of stuff. So I create another company for property management aside the relocation company. And in 2020, we have a COVID situation, as everyone knows, and the mobility stops. So the company almost died. In that
Wow.
moment, I realized about how can use in that moment our experience and expertise that we got during so many years in order to make the process more scalable. And that is the origin of Lodgerin. I mean, Lodgerin comes to digitalize the mobility sector and property management software through a digital ecosystem who connects institutions that we consider multinationals and universities with relocated people that can be students or expats
Oh, wow.
and housing owners and service providers such as banks, insurances, moving services, and that kind of stuff. Everything's under the same umbrella, which is our digital ecosystem.
Yeah, no, that's very awesome. I appreciate you giving us a background, and it's interesting to
Yeah.
hear how you ran into that situation during COVID, almost to where you had to pivot. And I know that you've got a quote that lives on your LinkedIn profile, which is, "I have not failed. I've just found 1,000 ways that won't work." And so I love. Is that an Albert Einstein quote? Is that?
And still do. At the end, it's a problem solution. I always said that maybe I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but I'm somebody that learn about their own mistakes.
Wow.
So for me, it's important that part of the process of learning through mistakes. I mean, would be better if I don't make any mistake, But
Yeah.
I consider the mistakes into the normal process. So the thing is to correct those mistakes and be really eager to find the solution as soon as possible.
100%. I think the way that I look at it is, it's okay if you might, step in gum, we'll call it gum on the way to your path, but as long as you don't step on it on the way back, that's how you know that you're making progress and you're really growing as well. So it's awesome to hear that you've been doing this now for so long. I mean, it's been almost over 4 years you guys have been providing your platform as a solution to, as you mentioned, universities, banks, and folks who need help with global mobility. I think that it's really
Mhm.
interesting, but one key differentiator I think that I found through looking at your guys' website and through us connecting before this was the level of personalized service that you provide to your clients and to the folks that you are working with. Could you maybe shed some light into what it's like, I guess, blending not only tech that makes people's lives easier, but also that personalized approach that you guys take? Like, why is that so important for global mobility?
Yeah, well, the global mobility today it's more normal than 10 years ago, and I assume that it's going to be less normal than in 10 years.
Oh, wow.
But people suffer a lot when they move abroad, so they
Right.
have a lot of concerns about the new location, the living, the culture, all that stuff, and it's a lot of agents involved in the process. Language barriers in some point, culture barriers in other point. So the we do care that this is the culture that we provide into the software.
Mhm.
It's the manner that we put into the process, let's say, where we make customer centric digitalization or service and software
Yeah.
that allows to all the agents involved in the process to be care during the process. So we provide a peace of mind not just in the technological way,
Mhm.
giving more visibility or digitalizing the processes and communications, if not being there for the people who need it. Basically, since the beginning, we understood that this market, it has this requirement. I mean, you cannot just make technology. You must add something.
Right.
And we live in the moment of artificial intelligence, automatization, digitalization. But at some point, we are humans, and humans need humans at some point as well.
100%.
So that is why we include this We Do Care, that each day has more automatization, has more digitalization, but still keep the essence of the people.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. So you're not just providing a technical tool or a platform solution to the market. You're actually building technology that focuses on an overall more personalized process that takes into
Mhm.
consideration the experience that these people are going through.
Correct, correct. Even the universities has different processes during their mobility processes and different requirements. So our technology and our exclusive projects or customized projects, applying this We Do Care, we try to adapt the needs of the customer to
Mhm.
our software. So we create something kind of unique, which provides a unique situation or process for each customer. Of course, there is common points in every process, right?
Sure.
But each customer has different situations.
Yeah.
So we try to adapt, creating a scalable product which is customized for each customer.
Very, very awesome. Yeah. I think that, as you mentioned, everybody's process is a little bit different. And kind of as an outsider looking in, I'm not that familiar to be fully transparent with the global mobilization process as well. But I think that it's interesting to see the value proposition that you guys have for universities on your guys' website in relation to the broad opportunities that you provide for their students. Could you maybe touch a little bit more on really what Lodgerin is doing to help universities with global mobility?
Yeah, basically, universities are used to have people who is sending abroad and receiving students or international students on campus. So basically, during the whole process, they need to accomplish several stages in order to send the people abroad or receive people from abroad. In
Right.
that process, it's the visa, the insurances, the houses where they are being located, the follow up during the stay, and then
Oh,
all
wow.
the process that happens since the student arrives in the destiny and
Mhm.
then during the stay, right? So our software comes to cover all the stages that universities must accomplish to have a successful program abroad.
Yeah, no, that's very, very awesome. And it sounds like now I understand a little bit better as to how universities have a different kind of a relocation process, maybe than some of the other folks that you guys are helping. But I imagine that you've probably had so many amazing stories from the customers that you've been able to help because it sounds like this relocation process. I mean, it's a big deal for people in their life. Could you maybe share a story of somebody, whether that's a company, a university, or even like an individual that you guys have helped? And really, like, where your technology came in and shined and kinda made their life easier, I guess.
Well, universities have a thousand of stories. Our chief operation officer almost start the company with me
Uh,
can offer you a thousand of stories during the processes, right? But
nice.
in terms of general or common points in all the pains that university used to have is that
Mhm.
they grow in number of students abroad. So sometimes they have a miscommunication or a problem of supply and demand in terms of the accommodation.
Right.
Maybe in the last minute they are out of the houses. They don't have houses to offer to the students. So
Oh, wow.
the program it's in danger to be success. So what we used to do is to provide a proposal with different options and find solutions according to the needs that the universities has, everything through the ecosystem.
Yeah.
So the housing owners who are into the ecosystem are offering these houses to the universities aside
Oh, wow.
several services such as Operation Simplan in Destiny to cover that cultural part of follow-up during the stay or mental health assistance, 24-hour 7 service
Oh, wow.
phone number in case emergencies, that kind of stuff, and everything connected through the software. So we can allow to everyone be connected and reduce the number of incidents and
Mhm.
reduce the stress of the people who is moving abroad.
I love that. Yeah, again, I think it just all goes back to the point that you guys aren't just providing a platform. You're looking at the overall relocation process kind of holistically. And what stands out to me is it sounds like you've got a really talented team that you've been working with. You mentioned your COO and, how he's helping actually deliver this value to your guys' clients. I know that I've been able to connect with Amelia as well. And is there anybody that maybe we can highlight on this podcast that's a part of your team that is really making this dream kind of come to life?
Well, I will be selfish if I don't mention everyone because Lodgerin is a group of people. And the project that we are creating between all of us. Of course, I could mention my manager's team with Chief Operation Officer Enrique Elias or Chief Marketing Officer Tamara Gugel or Chief Product Officer Mario Pizarro or Chief Staff Officer Lina Umba. But I will be unfair with people like Saul Oliveros, which is a person who has more than 30 years experience in international mobility sector in
Right.
universities. Or I mean, the whole team.
Yeah.
It's really attached, and it's part of our culture because, as I mentioned before, we do care that we put in the product and in the customer. We put it in all the stuff into the company, not just the people. Everything in the company applies the we do care, and it's the people as well, the staff.
100%. I appreciate you highlighting some of the folks that you are working with. One thing that always stands out to me with the founders and CEOs that I speak with of software and technology companies is really the successful ones and the ones that are driving real impact. Usually they have a ton of domain expertise in the space that they're serving, such as yourself, and then they also have a really strong team behind them. They're not the smartest tool in their overall tool shed, and they're always the first to admit it. So I can see that you guys have all the signs of just being this awesome team, and it's great to see how you guys have grown over LinkedIn in the time that we've been connected. And so I would love to maybe discuss, like, are there any new initiatives for Lodgerin that you guys are planning to roll out, whether with your platform or just as a company in general over the next couple of months, kind of finishing out 2025?
Well, now we are launching a couple of new features into our software Arrento, which is the part for housing owners, where
Nice.
we want to provide them not just the opportunity to get tenants from the ecosystem, if not to have a channel manager who allows them to get tenants from other platforms, open platforms
Oh,
in
wow.
internet, right? So we are like kind of separating the different softwares. In the other hand, we are creating a new module, new feature for universities where we are going to extend the process in the mobility. So we are not going to be just in part of logistics in terms
Mhm.
of housing and services during the stay. If not, we want to digitalize as well the process of recruitment of
Oh, wow.
international students. So we will make the whole experience since the university has the need to recruit the people
Mhm.
until they are sending abroad or receiving people from abroad.
Yeah.
So basically, those feature or functionalities are the ones that we have in our scope for the next steps in our roadmap.
Yeah, no, that's very, very exciting. And I don't think we've got the chance yet to touch on the solutions that you guys are providing for property managers. And I believe you guys specialize in the property managers of midterm rentals. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's flex living at the end, from 1 month to 12 months, but our product is really scalable, so it applies to long term or short term accommodations as well. The only thing is that we are focusing more in the midterm. So usually
Nice.
our customers are in the midterm. Basically, the software, which is called Arrento by Dotgerin, basically allows the housing owners not just to commercialize their housings or their rental units, if not to manage the whole process and
Oh,
connect with
wow.
the tenants through the app. So they can make the check-in, check-out, digital signature of the contract, managing the invoices, payments, everything through the software, manage the availability, connect with or integrate other software such as ERP, accountancy programs, things like that through our software. So when you receive the invoice, you can send it directly to your bookkeeping. So that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, that's very, very interesting. Again, it sounds like because of your guys' domain expertise, that's how you're able to provide this technology platform that takes all of these different things into consideration. But it's interesting to see how you're helping these property managers also better find tenants for their midterm rentals. I'm assuming those are a lot harder to fill maybe than something more short term because it's that 1 to 12 month length that tenants are kind of looking to stay as well. So I'm sure that they can appreciate that you're helping them find more tenants. And I'm assuming, is that something that you got through, like, this new initiative that you guys are rolling out to help them find more tenants? Is that something that came about from talking to your customers and kind of identifying that that was a pain point they were struggling with?
Well, it is going to the other way around. We are receiving customers now who are coming from the short term and according to the legality or finding a new market solution,
Oh, wow.
they are becoming to be in the midterm. So they have like part of the portfolio in the short term and part of the portfolio in the midterm. So we are starting with them in the midterm, but in the
Nice.
future we hope they enter as well in the other model. Basically, the midterm is the unknowledge market. It's not so famous as Airbnb, right? In the short
Sure.
term or this kind of accommodations, or the long term, which is the normal one. So now people, this number of accommodation or offer is increasing because people is dividing and splitting the portfolios they have in order to
Oh, wow.
maximize the profitability in their portfolios.
100%. I appreciate you giving us some insight into that as well. And for any of the folks in the audience that want to learn a little bit more about Lodgerin, whether that's my audience or your audience, outside of your guys' website, what would you say is the best social media platform for the audience to go and connect?
Well, we are a B2B model, business model. So we usually publish a lot in LinkedIn, where we are really active and where we try to provide as much insights as possible to the market where we are. Aside that, we have a resources page into our website where we create ebooks and reports with experts on the market who are customers or collaborators or partners. So for us, information, it's a key in order to understand better not just the
Yeah.
market, if not our technology as well.
Percent. I think that it sounds like because you guys are providing these holistic solutions, your customers and the folks that you are looking to help, they kind of have to understand the overall, like how they fit in the system and how they can get the most out of working with Lodgerin. So it's awesome to hear you guys have those resources. I'll make sure that I include links in the description of our video to your guys' resources on the website, the social media, all of that good stuff as well. But kind of, before we wrap up the podcast here, what is one thing that you want to leave maybe your customers with, or the people that you guys are looking to provide solutions for in regards to how they think about Lodgerin? Like, is there anything specific that you want to communicate out in regards to your business, whether that's maybe misconceptions about the industry that you guys are serving, or is there anything specific that comes to your mind, Oscar?
Well, basically, our software, I think we're not creating space rockets. I mean, we are digitalizing processes, but
Mm.
that is not the important thing. The important thing is that we reduce the number of incidents. We maximize the hours that the people is working on the processes because they have more visibility. They have more accessibility to the people going abroad and the partners and offer and etc. So at the end, they're reducing times, and in these days, times make you better.
Yeah.
So basically, that is what Lodgerins do. We provide that possibility to our customers.
Yeah, I love that. It sounds like you're not focused on making highly complicated technology. You're more interested in optimizing the processes and the industries that you guys are serving. And so I think that if we can just have more of that, that'll be the best way that the world can become a better place by tech that enables humans to have just better processes overall and kind of just make things easier, which is what I think that these technology platforms and solutions are really made to do in the first place. And so, Oscar, I just wanted to tell you, thank you so much again for coming on our podcast and sharing your time and really your insights. I know that I'll be following along everything that you guys are doing on social media, but I also recommend the audience to go check out Lodgerin and see, maybe connect with Oscar, maybe connect with this team. It sounds like you guys are really going to kind of just explode over the next couple of years. And so it's been an honor to have you on our podcast at this moment. And it's exciting to see kind of what the future holds as well.
Thank you, Tyson. Thank you for the visibility and for your words. At the end, every day is stressful.
Yeah.
Having conversation like this provide you a release. So thank you.
Absolutely. And yeah, again, we got to highlight your team. And maybe, if there's anybody in the audience that has any questions for Oscar or in regards to Lodgerin, feel free to comment on this video if you see it on YouTube, or comment if you see our posts about it on LinkedIn. And I would love to bring Oscar back on the show to maybe answer some of those questions. I know I kind of put you on the spot, Oscar, but I think that would be an awesome experience.
No, no worries. Really, really excited to do.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, there you have it, guys. Like I said, let us know if you have any questions. Other than that, we'll catch you in the next video.